What's up YouTube? Dan from Debunked Skate here, and today I'm reviewing for you Darkstar Skateboards. The reason I've decided to purchase a Darkstar deck is because I heard a lot of bad things about them. I saw Darkstar referred to as a poser brand. I saw Darkstar referred to as a board that breaks very easily. I heard it referred to as a board that has no pop. So I wanted to test that theory out. I decided to purchase a Darkstar deck that was on sale on this website, Thank You Supply. And what I must say is this is a pretty good deck. Today I just wrapped up my second session on the deck, and both sessions I must say were pretty good. I understand that these decks used to be super popular in the early 2000s. And the reason there's such a negative connotation around this brand is because these were sold in Walmart at one point in time. Now, what the skateboard community has informed me is that the Darkstar decks that you can get at Walmart are a lot different than the ones you would buy online or at a skate shop. What I can confirm is that is true, that if you buy a Darkstar deck from a normal distributor, like a local skate shop, the board will skate quite well. But yeah, I would never advise buying a deck from Walmart. Those just aren't very good. Now back to the review. This deck is a little different than the decks I was currently skating. Before I was skating my own decks, the Debunked Skate blank decks. And I got this as an 825. That's what I've been skating a lot of recently, is 825 size. What makes this deck very unique, very different than the deck I was skating before, is the lack of concave. This board is super flat. I would compare the flatness of this board, the lack of concave, to that of a freestyle deck. And freestyle decks are infamously known for having zero concave. So that's something I've actually taken a liking to on this deck. I thought the concave was going to throw me off on transition or on flip tricks, and that is not the case at all. This lack of concave is actually something that I kind of like, and honestly, my ollies with this feel better than ever. So the lack of concave is one thing that makes this deck unique. Another thing is this breakage guarantee. These decks are guaranteed against breakage. Apparently there is one layer of carbon fiber in the plies of wood that keep the deck sturdy together, and that's why they're able to guarantee it against breakage. I've heard that these decks do break though. From my perspective, skating these 2 days, there's no stress cracks. This thing is holding up really well. And now let's talk about the pop. This deck has great pop. It's super light, very light, lighter than the deck I was skating before, and my decks are very, very light. So this thing is like paper. Pops really well, pops super quick. The nose on this deck is super steep, which has a couple implications. One thing's for sure, my ollies level out a lot cleaner on this board, and I do think it's because of the steep nose. However, the one drawback about this steep nose that I do not like is the fact that it feels a little different than skating any other deck. The nose on this deck feels so different doing nollies, nose manuals, and nose slides, all those tricks. I feel like you have to be a lot more deliberate in your actions you take with this nose. For example, when doing a nose manual, I have to work a lot harder to initiate the manual and press down a little differently than I would normally would for any other deck. Same goes for a nollie. I definitely have to be a lot more mindful of the pop, but as a result of the steep nose, I'm actually getting a ton of great pop when doing nollies with this deck. And nose slides are a little different. You have to lock in a lot more aggressively with this deck with the steeper nose, which is one trick I have not been able to figure out between these two sessions on this deck. Other than that, it skates great. Clearly this is a lot more of a street deck. It feels great on a lot of the street obstacles, but it feels great on transition as well. I was able to do everything I normally do on transition despite the lack of concave. Everything felt great. I had a ton of control over my board, getting up on the coping, doing axle stalls, all that. So overall, I would give this deck an 8 out of 10. But believe it or not, I actually like my decks a lot better. So I'm going to be swapping this one out shortly. I'm going to keep this one on deck as a spare. Now that I've talked about this board enough, I'm going to let you see it in action. As I alluded to at the beginning of this video, I did get some clips at the park on this today. So let's get into that. Alright, thanks a bunch for watching today. Hope you enjoyed the video. Hope you learned a little bit about Darkstar Skateboards. If you do decide to go out and buy one, it's a good decision, just don't buy it from Walmart. But I would rather you actually buy my deck, which I'm going to be skating next. Link is in the description. I'm selling these right now on Etsy for $45 with a free sheet of Jessup grip tape. Go check these out. This is the same make as the decks I've been skating the last 6 months. Well, thank you again for watching. If you enjoyed the video, drop a like, drop a comment, and subscribe if you have not already. I will see you next time.